of the things that you need to realise here, although it's not that important, is that if you take your driving test, then you tend not to take it again. And what you have to understand here is that if he takes his driving test at the first attempt, the probability of passing is 0.7. His probability of failing then will be 0.3. He must either pass or fail, and the probabilities must add up to 1 because that means absolute certainty. He's either going to pass or he's going to fail. If he fails, the probability that he passes at the next attempt is 0.8. So if he passes, we don't need to put anything here. He's passed, that's it. If he fails, he can then either pass or he can fail. And we're told here that if he fails, the probability he then passes is 0.8. Maybe he just becomes a little bit more careful. So that's 0.8, which means that this here must be 0.2. Question then says, what's the probability that it needs exactly 2 attempts to pass his driving test? Now, 2 attempts means that he has to fail. He would fail at his first attempt and then pass on his second attempt, which means that he's tried twice and he's passed at his second attempt. We multiply along the branches, so this means the probability that, if you like, he fails, then he passes. Probability that he fails first time is 0.3. Probability that he then passes is 0.8, and 0.3 times 0.8 is 0.24. Okay, the question then says, calculate the probability that he passes his driving test at his third or fourth attempt. Okay, so let's have a look at passing at the third attempt. Now, passing at the third attempt means the probability that he fails, and then he fails, and then he passes. Okay, and what we have to realise here is that every time he fails, his probability of passing at the next attempt must be 0.8. We're told that if he fails, the probability is 0.8. So we could carry on in this same mode. So there's pass, there's fail, and again it's 0.8 and 0.2. And if he passes, he stops. If he fails, he tries again, and then he could pass or fail. Again, the probability of passing is 0.8, with failure 0.2, and so on and so on. So the probability that he passes at the third attempt, well, that's fail, fail, pass. That's going to be 0.3 times 0.2 times 0.8. So that's going along this route here, 0.3, 0.2, 0.8. I'll mark it with a star. The probability that he passes at his fourth attempt, well, that's the probability that he fails, then he fails, then he fails, then he passes. Well, if he fails first time, well, that's 0.3. Fails again, that's 0.2. So we're multiplying all the time. Fails again, that's another 0.2. And now he passes, and the probability of that is 0.8. That's going through this route. Now, if we work each of those out, first one comes out as 0.048. Second one comes out as 0.0096. Now, the question says that he passes his third or his fourth attempt. That always means add, so we're going to add together these two probabilities. If we add them up, we get 0.0576.